Little Derek, an energetic and curious 8-year-old, could always be found playing, whether by himself or with friends. He loved mimicking the things he saw adults do, often turning them into imaginative games. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ahin, admired Derek's creativity but sometimes worried about the boundless curiosity. Mr. Ahin was a butcher who worked at a local slaughterhouse. One day, when Mrs. Ahin wasn't home to take care of Derek, Mr. Ahin had no choice but to take him along to work. Running late, Mr. Ahin told Derek to stay in the seating area while he rushed into the abattoir to begin his task, but curiosity got the better of Derek. Quietly, he followed his father into the slaughterhouse. There, he stood in wide-eyed amazement as Mr. Ahin skillfully slaughtered a cow, unaware of the impression this would leave on his young son. Later that evening, after a long day's work, Mr. Ahin and Derek returned home. The next day, Derek invited his best friend Edna over to play. As they played, Derek grew bored of their usual games. "I have an idea," Derek exclaimed. "Let's play something new." Edna eagerly agreed, curious about what Derek had in mind. Derek asked her to lie down, and she complied. Then, mimicking what he had seen his father do at the abattoir, Derek tied her hands and legs. Edna giggled, thinking it's all part of the game. But when Derek rushed into the kitchen and returned with a knife, gripping the knife in his right hand and holding Edna's neck with his left, Derek began to lower the blade down her neck. At that very moment, Mr. Ahin walked in and froze in horror. "What are you doing?" Mr. Ahin bellowed, rushing to untie Edna. Startled, Derek jumped back. "We are just playing, Dad," he said innocently. "Who taught you to play like that?" Mr. Ahin demanded, his voice shaking with anger and fear. Derek's answer sent a chill down his father's spine. "I saw you doing this to the cow yesterday, and I thought it would be fun to also play like that." Mr. Ahin's heart sank. He knelt down, hugged Derek tightly, and said firmly, "This is not a game. What I do at work is very dangerous, and it's not something children should ever imitate. Promise me you will never do this again." Derek nodded, sensing his father's seriousness. Mr. Ahin also realized his mistake. Some actions, no matter how routine, shouldn't be performed in front of impressionable young minds. From that day on, Mr. and Mrs. Ahin became more mindful of the things Derek was exposed to, knowing how easily children can imitate what they see. And Derek, he never played that kind of game again.